Hello everyone on YouTube and MySpace.com. This is of course again is Jeremy Horn. And I'd like to say that I am finally finished with the book, Bill Cosby and Dr. Alvin F. Poussaint's book, Come On People, on the Path of Victims to Victors. And I gotta say, this is one of the best books that I have ever read. I'm telling you, if you don't have this book, please buy it or go borrow it at your local library. I'm telling you, you're missing out one of the best epic book that's going to teach you how to not only become a victim. This is going to teach you how you can overcome victim and become a victor. I'm telling you, this is the book. Now I'm on chapter 8, and it's talking about poverty to prosperity. Now, some African Americans who are living below the poverty rate, please hold on. Okay? Now I know that you're going through some hard times, but at the same time, you cannot let hard times, you cannot let struggles, but most of all, you cannot let fear or failure try to hold you back. Because if you do that, you only not only becoming a victim, but you becoming like a victim to society. So that's why you need to really, really think that having struggles and having fear of failure, that's the only way that's going to prepare you for success. If you don't have that, you're not going to prepare for yourself. As I always said, and I always keep this with me at all times whenever I feel like I want to give up, if it doesn't kill you, this will make you stronger. Okay? Here's one paragraph that I had thought that this is really, really interesting. This is from the call from Dr. George McKenna, and she lives in Compton, California. And here's one that I think that people really need to listen to this, and I quote, "We used to blame it on white folks, but I knew who was responsible for getting me out of the back of the bus. I don't stop blaming them. I still blame them, but I'm also accepting full responsibility, so no matter how much they oppress me, it's my responsibility to stop them. And I learned this from a very spiritual point of view. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I owe it to my oppressor to stand up and take the whip out of his hand, because if I keep him from beating me, maybe he'll get to the promised land too." Like I always said, we as black people, African Americans, really need to stop making all excuses saying it's the white man's fault that we're living below the poverty rate, or it's the white man's fault that the public school system is one of the worst. But majority of it is our own fault. The reason why I'm saying this is because you are not becoming an activist in your own community. If you want to see a change in your community, you complain all the time, get involved. Set up a meeting every week, find out what can we do to make our community better. Or if you want to be an activist in your child's public school, go to the school. Find out, why is my child not doing homework? Why is he not attending school? Get involved and make sure that the school system that your child's trying to do is trying to be better. Because if we don't do nothing about it, we're going to sit in our butts, we're going to let the system take over, and then we're going to lead to self-destruction. And I'm very, very serious about this. Because, 40 years ago, Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement were marched and were hit in the head, and they were attacked by dogs and fire hoses just to get an education and just to have better equal job opportunities. Now, 40 years later, you see a great number of high school dropouts, And I tell people all the time that Dr. King's dream is becoming a nightmare, And I think that they turn over the grave and they're very disappointed in us. And I think that we really need to carry that legacy, And it's a travesty. And I keep telling you, it is a travesty. Here's one call that I found that people really, really need to see. Here it is. This is from Lauren Lake, speaking in Cincinnati. She said, and I quote, "I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All this hopelessness and helplessness can go away, and we need to make sure it does. Now we need to focus. This is our power and our privilege, and I know you look at me and you say, well, how does this little girl know all that? Well, I'm not all that little." And also, here's one thing that I really want to really read this. I know it's long, but I think that people really need to start hearing this. It's from Victims to Victors. Was read by Meet the Press by Tim Russell, and I really want to share this on YouTube. So here it goes. And I quote, "The most important thing that is within the reach of just about everyone is to make sure that every black child has two active parents in his or her lives. If something happens to the boy's natural father, It is time for the stepfather or the grandfather or the uncle or the godfather to fill the void. Likewise with the mother. A two-parent home is less likely to be poor, and the children it produces are much less likely to end up in prison. If, a generation from now, every black child grew up in a functional two-parent home, the problems of crime and poverty in black communities will greatly diminish. Black women seem to understand this better than our men. Few of them, even those living in poverty, fit the stereotypes society tends to impose. Most are trying to do the right thing for their families and children. Most care about their children getting an education and staying out of jail. Such parents and caregivers are involved with schools, churches, health clinics, and community settlement houses. Probably many more would be involved if they felt it was safe to go out without becoming a victim of crime or senseless violence. They are the key to reaching our men. The young men need to learn that it is highly unlikely that they will grow up to start in the NBA or see their hip-hop CD go platinum. Although within reach, it will be a challenge for them, today at least, to graduate from college and start a successful business, but most youth can overcome obstacles to their finishing high school and getting a legitimate job. And there is no reason in the world they cannot become good partners and fathers, especially since the women want them to be. This is the base we build on. Children who are loved will have this confidence to succeed in school, to succeed on the job, to succeed in life. Education, plus jobs, plus increased minimum wage, plus entrepreneurship, plus affordable housing, plus decreased craving for material goods, plus avoidance of credit card debt could equal the end of poverty, maybe. Poverty is deeply rooted in American society and our economic system. Black people have more than their share of poverty, which stunts their ambition and saddles them with a host of social burdens. But by doing the things we can do, we can make the future much brighter for poor black youth, much brighter for everyone. No more excuses, no more delays. Come on, people. And that is it. And like I said, if you don't have this book, you are missing out an amazing, amazing epic. Okay? This, of course, again, is Jeremy Horn. And I will answer your questions very, very soon. All right? Peace.